Hello, this is Mike of Neil Enough Dice. This is the Kerbal Space Program. Right, I was going to... Last episode, I tried to launch my space base, my science base for the MUN. Didn't work. Weird things happened, apart from anything else. My original thought was to go to just a straight 3.5 meter everything right the way up. Get rid of this bit here, the adapter, which is often very wobbly, and maybe try and do some other things to keep things stable. I've kind of decided to go for the MOAR STRUTS approach first. So I've strutted things up from here to here. But also you notice I've added this great big thing here, which probably looks a bit unaerodynamic, all these girders. But what this is some scaffolding to try and enable me to strut up stuff inside the fairing. I've already done one up here, so I'm going to do another one to show you how it works. So basically, you start off by going to something inside the fairing. You notice that when your mouse going over bits of fairing makes the fairing expand out. Right. If you move your mouse far enough away, the fairing goes back. That's kind of what you need to do. That's why I've got this stuff all the way out here, so that I can connect like this, and then I connect it out to the scaffolding, but when I click, it actually connects to the fairing, and that's why I needed to have the scaffolding far enough away that when my mouse is when I'm connecting, the fairing closes, and those struts should all disappear when the fairing is toggled. So I may actually not want to toggle the fairing. Normally you'd wait until you toggle the fairing as soon as you get out of the atmosphere. Not even, you might not even wait that long. You might toggle the fairing quite early on, like 25 odd kilometers. But I'll lose then a lot of the kind of anti-wobbling stuff that's going on when I do that. So I might leave that for quite some time. So now that I've done that, I can take this away and junk it. So now that is glued to the fairing. That's strutted up to the fairing. This other joint here has now got struts connecting it. So that should be a lot more solid. So let's launch. There's another thing I really ought to be doing at this stage, especially with a rocket like this, which is very large, is I should be running more of a launch script using KOS to automate the pitch angle. And there are various algorithms for doing that, including various square root algorithms and stuff. If I not set a flag for this, I wonder if I have not set a flag for this. Oh well. Right, so the first thing we need to do is we need to go away. Thank you. Ship. I need to go find the docking port that I've labelled forward, and set control from there. There we go. Because it's not just pointing, because it's not just flipped vertically, it's actually been rotated. I also need to rotate my view so that my keys go the way I think they should. And we're just going to see if this is actually any more stable than I was using before. So let's give this a go. Now it all seems fine now, of course. That's because I'm not actually trying to rotate or anything. It's only when I start to rotate that we'll start to see whether or not there are problems. Okay, so we're waiting till we're getting to about 50 meters a second, and I'm going to see if I can start moving. Oh, that's a lot less wobbly. Oh, that is nice. Oh, I'm pleased. All right, so strutting everything to everything else has worked. I've got the old problem that the SAS. It's a bit wobbly. Just the way it's being tuned. But we now have ourselves a nice solid vessel. That is exceedingly pleasing. Okay. So I'm kind of just gradually keeping us essentially on the edge of that circle of the prograde marker, so that I'm pitching over, but not too much. And again, this is where I really should make a KOS launcher, because I think quite frankly this is a bit too delicate for my puny mortal fingers. This might be one of those jobs that a computer is in fact better at. Oh, should cut that there. Don't want to go too fast still. As you notice, the frame rate's plummeting. Right, I'll be happy if I was further over by 10k. So I could possibly have been more aggressive, but this is not terrible. It's good to know that sometimes just slapping struts on everything does in fact help. And of course this might mean that all I've done, okay, so I've successfully solved one problem. And all that really means is that I'm just gonna, you know, this enables me to get to the next problem, as opposed to actually fixing the whole thing. Because I still have to, as I'm assuming I've got enough fuel to get to the mun and all that kind of good stuff. I actually had some thoughts towards timing my launch such that I would definitely not have to circularize my orbit, because if you think about it, there is a time when that would be the right thing to do. You can just burn continuously all the way to the mun, or at least all the way until you get a capture. I wonder, am I too far over now? I'm not sure. Right, I'm going to stick to going prograde for right now, because I'm about to go to my next stage. And because of that, I want to go to full throttle. Now I have to keep an eye on this, because my rocket is now a lot shorter and fatter than it was, and I've thrown away my fins. Time to apoapsis is going up. That's good. I want it to be about a minute. So I want to be quite cautious about turning my rocket, but this is feeling about right. Is that going up or is that going down? Going up, okay. While it's going up, even slowly, I'm just going to keep with what was happening. Struts everywhere. I'm not even using the Werner engines that I've got down here. They may come in handy later on. When I get into the atmosphere, get out of the atmosphere and start thinking about circularization. All right, so far so good. So I don't want to deploy the fairing, which very often I would do. Because that's a major contribution to my stability right now. The docking ports, the problem is I'm actually connecting a lot of things via docking ports, and docking ports are very wobbly. And I may not have strutted them as much as I could have done. Let's go slightly. Just want to bring my time to apoapsis up a bit. Might be being paranoid. Right, let's go back to prograde. Well, you know, it's a nice flat trajectory, if nothing else. Yeah. Where's the Mun? Mun's there. See, theoretically, if I'd launched when the craft was there, that would be more or less what you'd have gone for if you were going for a, you know, when you're in an orbit, you go when you're about 90 degrees away. There we go. And yeah, in theory, I might have been able to do a maneuver which is burn, just don't even circularize, just burn all the way. There we go. I was going for 75 K, but I was pressing the wrong button, so it's fine. So add maneuver, put it on the apoapsis. Let's see how much I need to circularize. Oh, sweet. Look at that. Gaze upon this. 120. Ah, lovely. Now, let's put on the old RCS. Now my burner engines are using up bits of fuel. So I'm going to have to make sure that these tanks are nice and full before I set off. I've probably also used some I haven't used any monoprop. Good. I was worried about it using monoprop. Yes, I'm very, very pleased with that. Very, very pleased. Bring up the alarm clock. How long? 4 minutes. Half burn. I'm out of the atmosphere yet. I'm not actually out of the atmosphere yet, so I might hold off. It might be an idea to so I probably shouldn't have gone to my maneuver actually right now. Because you could see my periapsis was going down quite a bit. So I'm still actually in the atmosphere, so I might have been a bit premature. Okay. About to break the atmosphere. And as soon as I do that, now, okay, there we go, we've broken the atmosphere. So now I'm going to point to up my maneuver node. And I'm going to go back here. I'm going to put this back on the apoapsis because in all likelihood it's because yeah, my actual trajectory will have changed, and therefore where my apoapsis has changed. That's still pretty even. So 121 meters per second. Oh, I am so pleased. I was trying to work out how much I should check out exactly how much. I should review the footage and see when I get to S3 how much delta V I had by that point. So how much I have left over. That was a really good launch. I'm I'm really pleased with that. Right, how long have we got to go? Right, so we will take that away, make a new one, just in case. We will fast forward until it tells me not to. We should do something about that anomaly down there. I've got a great big huge landing cross, which I was purely using to practice putting landing crosses on things. And it's just kind of sitting there, not really being useful for anything. Anyway, so 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go. Ease in those last few meters per second. And we'll say, oh, I'm very circular, look at my orbit. 80, 90 and 84. That's not bad. Not bad at all. Alright, so that's launch. Launch and struts. So I've made a very strutty launch. I don't know why I'm saying such ridiculous things. So now the next thing to do is to do the maneuver to get to the mine itself, and that's going to be next time. I'll probably just get back to when we're actually at the mine and start thinking about landing, but that was the launch and that went really well. So thanks very much for watching. Do please hit like and subscribe if you're enjoying these videos. You can find Nearly Enough Dice at nearlyenough.com, and we're also on Facebook and Twitter, so search for Nearly Enough Dice on there. And until next time, reach for the stars and put struts on everything.